Okay, so I figured out a little bit more information on this thing. So basically, to connect to this, we need to create a radio server. We need to enable it, the control port, and then we need to figure out what the IP address of the computer is. I guess I think that's what we do, and then oh, it completely reset everything. That's a bummer. Okay, so disconnect from the radio. Okay, serial device. I don't know which one it is. Okay. Connect to radio. So, radio server. We need to make a name on here. Okay, so I don't know. Is this the port that I'm on? I don't think so. There's a bunch of information on how to do this. So let's go over here and just go ahead and look it up. wfview remote. Let's type that for now. Oh, wfview for the Zygu. Remote control. Okay, that's pretty cool. So I honestly believe we can also do this on the G90. Remote operation. Okay. So let's take a look at this. I think it was what I was looking up earlier. Okay, so first install wfview, connect the radio, then launch wfview. Follow the getting start page on the port of the radio. Once wfview is running and properly controlling the rig, head over to the settings tab of the view. Now configure the audio. wfview needs to know what device your rig's audio is. If you're using a sound card, select the line input. I don't see that on mine when I do that. Okay. Okay. Now what did it say to do? Settings tab. I don't see anything for the audio. Just data modulation. Huh. I think we're probably going to have to go ahead and look this up and watch a stupid video. Interesting. Let's see. Now press the server setup button. Where's the server setup button? This must be for an old one. Okay, so we're in the server setup button. Enable. Now press save, exit, and start wfview again. Okay, disconnect. Connect to the radio. Let's go ahead and just disconnect it. Close it out. Yes. Okay. Now. Exit and start it again. Note the latency sliders on the codec selection menu. Where's those? Okay. Man, they're not highlighted for me. You have to disconnect to be able to mess with them. Or not even at all. Alright. Well, you got no control over those, as far as I know. Yeah, I can't change them. Okay, client setup. First install wfview, launch it, go to settings, enable LAN. Specify the radio IP address as the computer's IP address running the server. Okay, how do I find out my IP address? Well, I guess I have to go into my crap here. Properties. Okay, there's my IP address. Alright, will it be one of these two? Alright, so we'll try it on this computer. Alright, we're in here in that one. We got settings, radio access, user interface, radio settings, radio server. Okay. External control. Okay, we need to disconnect from the radio. Revert to default. Click OK. We need to start this all over again. Okay. Welcome to wfview. How is your radio connected? I don't know. Wi-Fi network? Okay. So the host name, I believe, is supposed to be the IP address. Now, I read a different write-up on how to do this. Okay. So what it says here... Okay, so I need to find the more updated version of how to do this. Okay, I don't see what the date was on that one, but here is one from February 8th. Okay, so yeah, here it goes on the remote operation, and it's discussing it for. Okay, so server setup. For the server computer, begin by installing it, getting started guide. Once it is running properly, head over to the settings tab and click radio server page. Standard ports are shown. Select the radio's audio. Well, let me see. See, this is what they're talking about. Select the radio's audio device under RX audio input. RX audio input. Where are they seeing this? Oh, right here. Okay. So this is the settings tab for radio server. Okay. It is not. Okay. So RX audio input is microphone USB audio codec, digital audio interface 2. I need to figure out which one it needs to be. Okay, this is very important. Let me turn this thing off here. Okay. Select the radio's audio device under RX audio input and select the radio's transmit audio device under TX audio input. If these drop down menus are grayed out, it means that it has not connected to the radio yet. Head over to radio access. Generally speaking, on Windows, the audio device will say USB audio codec in the name, and often Also, Burr Brown. Remember, you are looking for a USB device. If you see many USB audio codec devices, try unplugging other USB audio devices and any other radios, and then relaunch wfview and see if you see fewer. The audio system should generally be set to QT audio unless there are problems. Okay, cool. So radios receive audio device. It'd be generally USB audio codec. Okay, there it is. Microphone. Because we don't want the digital audio interface too, which I don't know what that would actually be. Okay. That's the RX. Wait, why would it be microphone? The RX input would be the microphone? That don't make sense. And then... Isn't this backwards? The TX should be the microphone. Wow, that's wild. Okay, let me look at this again. RX audio input. Select the radio's receiver audio device. Yeah, that is not right. Okay. Digital audio interface. We don't want microphone. And we don't want speakers over here, do we? USB audio codec. Well, I don't know about this. That's strange. Realtek. That would make the audio probably go to my speaker here.
Also, I believe we lost the connection with Yamaha, so I reset my 5 star.
Nope.
And enjoy your tree, 2 Juliet, 0 Charlie, Mike Bob.
I don't know.
And
Okay.
I just
To me, that seems
finished
backwards.
my demo short espresso.
Let me see if they
Morning,
actually
wake up.
show.
I can't start my day without it. Thanks again for the
Do they show it?
Mr. Chris. Nice to meet you.
No picture of it.
So I'll say
Okay.
73 best wishes from Bahrain.
All right, let's see. So the audio system, define a username and a password for a full user account. Let's see. User privileges are not enforced, but it's something that we might do in the near future since the passwords are not well encrypted and do not use sensitive passwords. Or since the passwords are not well encrypted, do not use sensitive passwords. In other words, don't use the same password on here that you use for other things you care about. If you are satisfied with the settings, press save. Recheck enable. Turn on the server. You should now see UDP server starting UDP server in the log window. You should also see a message about audio input and output devices. Make sure they match your settings. At this point, the server is set up and complete. Okay, so let's try this again. All right. All right, we have... Did we miss something? Save settings. Connect to radio. Okay, now what is it telling me about a log? Radio access. User interface. Radio settings. Radio server. External control. DX cluster. Experimental. Okay, let's close this out here. Radio status. Okay. User IP address. Where is it? It's not showing it to me, is it? Current user. Rig name. CIV. I don't believe that it's been done correctly. Logs. Oh, okay. There's the log. But we have an error. Okay. If you're satisfied with the settings, save the settings and enable this. You should see udp.server starting UDP server in the log window. You should also see a message about audio and input out devices. Make sure they match your settings. Okay. CW side tone output speakers. Start periodic commands. Rig loading. Serial using incoming CIV address. Default receive rig cap into repeater setup. System running configure. Starting side tone. Default changing queue interval. Delay command. Start periodic commands. Side tone. System spectrum length error expected 475. Got 375. One can be ignored. Okay. Let's see. So that's possibly, I don't know. So now let's just try to go over the client thing and set it up. Setting up a second computer to connect to the wfview server is simple. Launch the wfview on a second computer and follow the getting started from the radio connection. Specify network type. Supply the IP address of your wfview server computer for the host name. Okay. Okay, so 192.168.023. So we'll come over here and we'll do that. All right. So the host name. Let's get that in there. I just clicked connect to the radio, and it looks like we are seriously in business, guys. I don't know about the audio because I think we have a problem. If we can hear that, that's loud. Okay, but I'm going to click over here. This one here, I want to see. We're on 14.179. My radio is on 14.179. I'm controlling it through my network. So, that means that all I have to do is set up the rest of this, and now if you watch this, it should change right now, because I'm tuning the radio. Yep. Okay. But we just need to get the audio straightened out. That's pretty cool, though. I mean, further than I was on it yesterday. So, I'm not completely certain that I had the audio correct on here. So what they're talking about over here is the radio settings. Your radio needs to be told to source audio from USB or accessory connector as applicable to your setup. So head over to the radio settings page on the settings tab. Okay. And select the audio interface that the radio should use for transmit audio. 7300 should use USB. Oh, wait. Is this on this one or the remote? Okay. Radio settings page, settings tab, select audio interface. Okay, let's come back over here and see. And maybe, sorry about the camera, maybe this one. Okay, we have a settings page already open. Radio settings. I am not seeing what they're talking about. We can try this though. Okay, so It lets me do nothing for RX. Okay, speakers. Realtek high definition audio. We don't want digital output. Okay. It's not giving anything. I have a feeling that the settings is not supposed to be what they're saying it is. Because we're probably looking at an older... okay. Data off modulation. I don't know. Data mod input. USB. Save settings. Okay. I don't know. It keeps going back to microphone. Huh. Use this. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. I tell you, when I figure it out, I'll make a better video. Because this is complicated. So if it's in the radio settings, but we don't know. Here, this is the client setup. And then there's the router setup, and there's the audio. And it's not giving me the correct thing. There are 3 places to look. Radio audio settings, input selection, AF gain, mic gain. Server, TX, and RX audio. Client, mic, and speaker connection. The best strategy is to begin with a simple USB headset on the client. You can enable TX audio as a type of secondary meter, and you should be able to see the raw headset audio output on the meter. God, this is stupid complicated. Okay. Disconnect from the radio. RX audio input. What just happened there? It crashed. All right. Don't want microphone. Digital audio. RX input. That's really weird. Okay. TX audio output. Speakers USB audio codec. Okay. Now you see it controls my radio. Let's see what the other one's doing. All right. Okay, so I can turn the radio off from the remote, and you can turn it back on. But I got no audio. So, let's see. Enable. Okay. Radio settings. Keep saying mic, data off modulation. Modulation input. USB. radio server settings. Okay, disconnect from the radio. Why we have no RX output. Let's see, speakers. And that caused it to crash. I still got no sound. Let's see. What does the log say? Well, I don't know, guys. But I've heard this can be complicated. I heard it can be real tricky to get it working. But I've gotten more of it working than I thought I was going to be able to. Yeah, I don't know. Very strange. I just don't understand this thing here. I'm it feels like it's backwards.